What if the US government gave you 1 million to live longer? How would you spend it? I've got 17 and a half, and that's why I haven't been posting recently, because of a very cool initiative called PROSPR. Proactive Solutions for Prolonging Resilience. They like their names. But basically, cheating death. Just a little. The problem? I only have 7 business days left to come up with a proposal to use the money, and to make things worse, we're missing one key player, but maybe you can help. Oh yeah, and we also need to come up with a cool name as well. Actually 2 names. So if something comes to mind while we are watching, drop it in the comments, please. So, what's going on? The problem with the medical system in this country is twofold. It's reactive. It starts to work with you when you are sick, and sickier, as we know it. And second, for all practical purposes, it ignores aging as the major driver of cancer, dementia, and heart disease. Basically, we are bailing the water from a sinking ship instead of fixing the freaking hole. But 10 years ago, the first trial was proposed to finally target aging as an endpoint. Maybe you've seen my videos about it. The trial is called TAME, Targeting Aging with Metformin. However, 10 years later, today, it still hasn't started. I actually went to Harvard Medical School to investigate, and long story short, nobody really cares, but a select few. Myself included, with Living is Smart. It's our non-profit to get something done. We are not that big, yet, but I would like to believe that our effort, yours included, if you're still watching, is pushing the boat in the right direction. And, suddenly, here we go! ARPA-H. It is estimated that extending health span by 1 year in only 10% of the aging population would reduce cost of the US entitlement programs by 29 billion per year and increase value to the national economy by 80 billion per year. Somebody in the government finally did the math, and if not our lives, but at least money, registered somewhere. Getting old and sick is bad, hallelujah. Which brings us to the initiative and the problem we have. The big idea is to develop a chip, so it's not just for Brian Johnson's and such, but for you and me, a chip kit which can test what's called intrinsic capacity. Because if you can't measure what's going wrong before it feels wrong, you can't stop it. And this kit changes that. Intrinsic capacity is a new designation invented by WHO, World Health Organization, to measure your 5 key domains: cognition, locomotion, sensory function, vitality, and psychological well-being. Think of it like check engine light, but for your whole body. And the task is to make a kit under $100 to measure all that at home. But that's actually not a big problem, not that hard. Our failing longevity club, as we call it, is tied up to Cyfox Health, a microsampling lab, hundreds of biomarkers to select from. And then we can expand it with spirometry, how strong your lungs are, hand grip strengths, balance checks, and we've got plenty of data to work with. That's what our second team is assigned to do, Harvard Medical School, to crunch all the data from your engine. Now, where it gets a little more tricky is convincing people to do better for themselves so we can measure the outcomes. For that, we need coaches and later on an AI companion, something I worked on for the last year, to get you moving in the small ways, but daily, the power of small steps. And knock on wood, we are going to launch the first prototype in a couple of weeks, regardless of all the above. But what we do miss is a clinical site where we can bring 1,000 people in for a checkup. And that's where the 1 million is going to go. 1 visit, 1 blood work, times 1,000. And we'll actually need to repeat the process 4 times to confirm that our at-home kit is as good as the time spent with a doctor, just much cheaper. So, long story short, if you have clinical leads who would like to put their name on a landmark study and write their name in the history, please let me know. If you want to participate as a subject, don't forget to subscribe. There's going to be one cohort to develop and validate the at-home testing kit. That's what we are calling Spark for now. Scalable platform for aging resilience and capacity. And a second cohort to test longevity interventions such as rapamycin and Ozempic, SGLT2 inhibitors. No cool name for that yet, so if you got something smart or weird, drop it below, please. Because it's a team effort and it's only going to work if people like you step in, participate, so please do. Keeping fingers crossed, we can lead it, we will lead it, but in either case, you can actually start improving your life right now with zero time effort before the study or my app is released. So let's not waste any time. Something all centenarians do, something I do every day, something you can check right away, right here. Living is smart, aging is bad, so let's step into the power of the small steps together. Shall we? Ooh.